Hi, everyone. It's Arthur here at Arthur Ease Your Mind on YouTube. And sorry, a little late. We've been having technical difficulties getting onto the internet. It was going in and out all morning. So I hope we get to do the whole show today. So I'm an intuitive consultant and psychic advisor here on YouTube. And a great, wonderful, big shout out to all the members, all the subscribers, the old, the new, and those that are here that are going to be subscribing by the end of the show. How's that sound? So I really appreciate you all being here. And I just want to say, as we go into the show, there's a guy I've been talking about named Mel. And he's Mel Doerr. Some of you may know him. But if you're new to my channel, you may not. Mel Doerr is a wonderful psychic, also known as the Aloha Shirt Psychic. And he's been in and out of the hospital and has to go through surgery on Thursday. So when I mention Mel, that's what I'm talking about. So he's a wonderful person. He has to go through surgery on Thursday. And yes, I'm going to put this up. Don't hit me for doing housework at the top. But that's the only one I'm going to do. If you'd like to send Mel a little love and support, there's his Venmo information. Okay? So, as always, we have Sherry in the background helping me with the questions, because I cannot do questions and read, walk, and talk and chew gum at the same time. So that's Sherry. And also, real quick, as you know, I'm kind of leaning towards progressive. And everybody asks me, what can we do when it comes to what's going on in the country? And I keep on saying, use fivecalls.org. I'm not affiliated with them, but this will help you get to all your representatives. And with templates, with phone numbers, and help you to communicate with your representatives. I do it 2 or 3 times a week, okay? Because I'm not going to do it once, because they can count the numbers. All right, and also, Goods Unite Us, available on Apple and Android. I'm not affiliated with them either, but they will tell you who's who in the zoo, who gives to which organizations as donations. So I like to know where my money's going. And I was really surprised when I found out some of the places I shopped at were giving 100% to Republicans. So I don't shop there anymore. So that's my personal stuff. I'm just putting it out there. That's who I am. This channel is slightly left-leaning, if you haven't noticed, kind of bluish. And if that's a problem, you can leave, okay? Because I did get some comments last week about, that I'm left-leaning, and I'm like, well, I'm right-handed, but I'm left-leaning. Actually, I'm ambidextrous, but we don't talk about that. So anyway, so let's get into some questions here. And I have one or two from the post, but we'll get those in a minute. All right? So without further ado, here we go. From Gail Ann. Hi, Arthur. I have heard past presidents have had communication with extraterrestrials. Have they had any with 45? His previous or current regime? Thank you. I don't think they want to talk to him because they threw him off the mothership years ago. But I really don't feel it. I'm going to be honest with you. I do not feel that Trump has been involved with extraterrestrials, because he put them in El Salvador prison probably by now. So moving on. Pithy, but true. Spiritual Garden. Hi, Arthur. Is it clear that DJT is following a script and ad-libbing poorly? Removing him does not get rid of the root. FH, whatever that means, will inherit FDN going to be dealt with. Okay, from now on, please do not put initials. I'm the village idiot. It's the guides that make me look smart. So sometimes I can't pick it up. But what I'm going to tell you is, yeah, he's following a script. It's called 2025. But even though if he's removed, everyone else is going to be removed with him, okay? So don't think that he gets removed and J.D. Vance becomes president. That's not going to happen. As I've always predicted, he will go down as a co-conspirator. Mike Johnson will go down as well. The House will turn blue, and I'll go to yay as we rebuild back better, okay? So I hope that answers your question. Hi, Amelia. Hi, Arthur. Premier Daniel Smith of Alberta is pushing to separate Alberta from Canada. Will this happen? Will she be removed from office? If so, how soon? Again, timeframes. My soon, your soon, and the soon from the guides are three separate things. But what I will say is she's not going to be able to separate Alberta from Canada. I feel she will be ousted. I don't know what the timeframes are for their elections and everything in Canada. I apologize. But I do not see her. She's basically Maple MAGA, and she's not going to survive. Okay? And I feel somehow she'll be ousted. I also feel that something about August, September, there's going to be some scandal around her, so that she may be removed. It could be wrong, could be right. We'll see. Okay? Hi, Mary. Thanks, Arthur. Will Trump have his parade? In his head? In his head? I'm sure he has, like when he takes his little bath, he has all his little boats and everything floating around. It's like one of those things. I don't remember if you remember in the 70s where we had the gas embargo, so it was an odd or even day where you had to get your gas according to your license plate. When I look at this, it's like an odd or even day. I get a yes, I get a no. So we'll see on this. If there is something, I feel it's going to be scaled down. It's not going to be, something that the Red Square would have. And also, I was hearing that he wants tanks. He wants tanks. He wants tanks. But they'll rip up the streets, so they have to put the tanks on trucks. So, we'll see what happens with that. But if there is something, I feel there will be protests. But also, I feel people are starting to get wise to the fact that it's going to cost $100 million to celebrate his birthday. It's not celebrating like the 4th of July or something like. You can't wait to the 4th of July. He has to have it on June 14th. And I really feel people are going to start realizing, wait a minute, $100 million. Oh, so that's why they're taking food away from children in wheelchairs. Okay. Cool. But I really feel people are going to start realizing that too. And I don't think a lot of the military, yeah, there's the militia groups, but I feel there's some military people that are against this. Okay. So we'll see. Like I said, as far as I'm concerned, if it does happen, it's going to be scaled down, but there will be protests. I think there'll be more people protesting that than will be in the parade. This is one case where I hope the parade does pass him by. Okay. Hi, Matthew. Thank you for keeping people's spirits up. Yeah, my favorite spirit guide is Captain Morgan, Tom Collins, Jim Beam. Never mind. In this troubling time, will there be any signs in the world that Trump's end is near? When we keep on hearing that song, My Way, in the back of our heads, collectively, and now the end, never mind. But I do feel, if you saw like he did the an interview this morning, the guy is losing it. I mean, if that were Joe Biden, they'd be kicking him down the street. Well, no. The thing is, the signs will be people coming forward with, we have receipts. We know what happened. We know what was going on. And there was election interference. And we know things, and people are going to be coming forward. So we'll know ahead of time. Also, when he goes crazy, when he feels like he's, got his back to the wall. I don't feel martial law, by the way, anymore. Do you see Karen Reed retrial finding her not guilty in Massachusetts, accused of hitting her cop boyfriend with car and leaving him to die in the snow? Judge and Canton police are corrupt. Thank you for explaining who that was. I'm feeling. Unfortunately, I feel she may be found guilty at this time. But then I feel something else comes down the light, and there may be another retrial on it. But at this moment, just to answer, I could be wrong, but just to answer your question, I feel that she will be found guilty. I hope I'm wrong. But let's see what the guides aren't saying much on it. So let's see what plays out. It's my guides aren't saying much on it. Hi, Phyllis Ledgerwood became a new member. Thank you so much. I think we have a reading next week too. Hi, Laura. Tom Homan. Border Czar is threatening to arrest Congress people. I think he is after AOC. What do you see? He's an idiot. He's the one that said we have to, he's going to do his job regardless of what the courts say and all that kind of stuff. And he's the one who's saying that it was when they deported a 2-year-old child. They said, well, the mother wanted to go with the child to go with the mother. It's like, no, the mother wanted the child to stay in the United States. So they deported the kid without any due process or anything. And he's lying. That is all going to be coming out. He can try and arrest Congress people. It's not going to happen. Yeah, he wants AOC. He more or less said it. And she's more or less told him, try it. Try it. The thing is, though, these people are blowhards. They talk, they talk, they talk. But only on Fox News. Hi, Regina. I've seen some protesters were arrested. Is this going to ramp up, or was it just an isolated incident? Thanks. I think it was isolated. I don't see where it's going to be ramping up. Because as of now, May 1st, big protests. I'm not sure when the next ones are, but if you look at the Bernie and AOC rallies, those are protests as far as I'm concerned. And people leave those ramped up, and I don't see them being arrested. Everyone has been very, very civil. And we have to continue being that way. And if somebody starts acting up, take photos, take pictures, get your cell phone out, because I feel those are instigators. I don't feel the guys are saying they're going to try and put instigators in there, but it's not going to work. Okay. Thank you. Trump interview this morning spoke about 51st state of Canada. Thoughts? Yeah, just like he built a wall. It's just talking. It's red meat for his base, and good. Keep on talking like that. All it does is bring the Liberal Party in Canada even closer together. And you see what happened in Australia? Yay! Their little Trump wannabe mini me. He's not in power anymore, or not anymore. He didn't get elected. The other guy still won. So let him keep on trying. He's nuts. Entertainment purposes only. I think collectively we should all send, Cocoa Puffs to the White House. Hi, Rose Blue. Unfunded PBS, Sesame Street, will they be okay? This QU brought to you by the letter F and U. Oh, this question. Thank you. Very cute. I know, and then they're going to go after Bert and Ernie for being roommates. And he went after Big Bird. I don't think that he can just sit there and do a decree unfunded. He goes to Congress. Number one. Number two, I feel that PBS, it's called public broadcast for a reason. So, and all the shows on there are basically, from grants and people giving money and donations. And I don't see them being able to. They can try. It may look like it. And even if it were to be shut down, that would be for a nanosecond. Because don't remember, these people are not going to be around for long. But I don't see it being defunded. So I hope that answers your question brought by the letters A-OK. F-U, is that fire truck? Earth Mama, what can we expect this week in Washington and Moscow? I think the weather forecast, never mind. I don't know the weather forecast. What can we expect? Craziness as always. Non-truths. I mean, I feel there's going to be more talk about Ukraine and Russia and everything like that. And Trump got his deal with the minerals, and then he booked out of there and said, okay, you two figure it out. I mean, I just feel that, hold on. I'm going to pull the creepy kid card, see what comes up. Oh, gee. Think this means anything? Lies, deception. That's what we can expect. Okay? But we may be able to read through those lies and deception. That's the good thing. Okay? Hi, Martha. What will happen to the 2 Russians arrested in Germany with Hegseth's phone number? Well, they found his phone number on the internet. I'm not really getting an answer on that. I'm sorry. I don't see where they can get in a lot of trouble because his numbers were available on the internet. So we'll see. Sometimes I don't get, people say when you ask a question, do your guys give you the answers all the time? Not always. Sometimes when I've been doing this for 30 years. So when I look at it, sometimes if I don't get an answer, we're not to know at that moment. So I don't stress it. Eventually it'll all come out. Okay. So I'm sorry I couldn't answer it the way you'd want. Okay. Hi, I'm Dizzy Lizzie. Is DJT really planning to invade Greenland, or is it just another distraction? The economy is going down. Inflation is going up. He said egg prices have come down. Yeah, because egg prices went so high. Now they came down just a little bit. His numbers are in the tank. So, of course, he's going to be talking about, let's invade. Don't look at, the stuff that's really going on. Let's talk about invasion of Greenland. Not going to happen. All talk. My grandfather would say, if BS was electricity, he'd be a powerhouse. Any energy shift for Kamala. I sound like Linda for a second. Is she ready to rumble? From Sweet Darling Lulu. Remember, people were saying, why is she so quiet? I said, because it's all strategic. And now she's starting to come up. And as I've always said, when we get to June and July, that's when stuff is going to be hitting the fan. And that's when she's rising again. Whether she's going to be president, don't ask. Then again, it's an odd or even day. I get different answers all the time on that. And Gavin Newsom's going to be stepping down as being governor. She may become a governor of California. And then it gives her still a chance to get back into the White House. Believe it or not. But I feel there's a game plan. So if it looks like nobody's doing anything, they are behind the curtain. Hi, Anya. Does Donald Trump ever remember to hold Japan has over us? Unfortunately, the man does not know history. And this is a person who thought Hannibal Lecter was a real person. So I really don't think so. Hi, Witchy Garden. Will this administration target PR, I guess you mean Puerto Rican citizens, or try to change their citizen status? They can try, but it ain't going to happen. In other words, they may talk about it, but they're not going to follow through on it. Okay. Hi, Jackie B. What will China continue to do to the U.S. when it comes to 45 tariff threats? Laugh. I swear sometimes it's like when I look at Donald Trump, I always hear the mother's voice from Carrie. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to laugh at you. Trump's going to continue. I mean, China's going to continue to call his bluffs. Then, and when, if you recall, Trump said, "Oh, we had great conversations with China," and she comes out and says, "We're not talking." And remember, he did that with Mexico when he said, "Oh, we're in agreements," and she wrote, "I don't know what you're talking about." So, people got his number. 0. Personal opinion on that one, not from the guys. Hi, Denise Fletcher Tarot. Thank you for sharing tonight. You're welcome. May 9th, 2025, will Tootin have his parade with all the foreign countries' guests, even though President of UK warned them. They always have their little celebration on May 9th. I'd be surprised if he's going to be in bulletproof in glass case. But I don't see some of the people invited showing up. I do not see it. So at least it's not October 7th is his birthday or something. Mystical Magic. Who created Donald Trump as the Pope? Will they be fired? Are you kidding? Donald Trump even reposted it. And then other people, there's now fake video of him as the Pope with Ave Maria or something singing in the background, with him blessing people dressed as the Pope in the Pope Mobile and all that kind of stuff. And they're loving it. The MAGA people are loving it. It's gross. And he didn't even wait 9 days. I mean, there's a 9-day mourning period in the Catholic Church when a Pope dies. And he put that up the day he got back. So no, I'm sure he instructed someone to do it. That's what I see. Not gonna be fired. Probably get a raise. There's the only people that I know that can really F up and move forward and get raises, I tell you. Hi, Donna. Japan threatened to call in their huge USA debt if Trump is disrespectful about the tariff talks. What do you predict? They're serious. The thing is, though, Trump's the bully. Japan will quietly bully him, and then he backs down. So that's what's going to happen. They'll threaten, and then he'll back down. He always does. And this is not my opinion. This is from the guides. Okay. Howdy. How can you tell me about the future of Mexico, especially with the strong female president? Plus, you're really cool. You're pretty cool. Thank you. You're so sweet. I think Mexico is going to go. I think Mexico and Canada are both going to be going through a really good period. You know, they're making trade deals with other people, and you know, I saw when there was a meme. It said, "Since we're renaming things." They had a picture of North America. At the top was Canada. At the bottom was Mexico. In the middle was Karen. Or like I tell my Canadian friends, I'm sorry that you guys live above the crack house. But I think they're going to go into a really golden period. Linda G, oh my God, thank you so much. If I knew you were coming, I'd put a watermelon on my head. I love Linda. Thank you. Hi, Arthur. Is Vance quietly hoping to be president of a Rotary Club? Of the makeup artist fan? I'm sure he wants to, but it ain't going to happen. So he's tried all the manifestation techniques he can, but I don't see that happening. And also, when I say Trump goes down, he goes down. Co-conspirator. Did California get federal money to rebuild after the fires? Jenny S. is asking. I believe that some money came in because it was still the Biden administration when the fires were going on. But then anything with Trump, nothing. I mean, he's not even giving anything to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And nothing to North Carolina. So, but then again, the one thing about California, which I thought was amazing, was we've always been known as the 5th largest GDP on the globe. That's changed. We're now number 4. California is number 4. So, moving on up. Hi, Suzette. Why is Trump upset people hate him when he puts idiots, annihilators, losers, and satanic vampires in key positions to destroy the country? Did he think people would like that and less food, housing, meds? Well, the one thing is, there's a word here you're using. Did he think? That's kind of an oxymoron. Did he think? He doesn't think. He just does what he does. I actually think he did it on purpose to just, to just ruin everything so that he can take over. And again, I feel people around him are. Do you remember that episode on Twilight Zone with Billy Mooney, where if he didn't like something, he'd throw somebody out into the field or whatever it was? It's kind of like that. Oh, yeah, it's really great. It's really great. Yeah, Mr. President, yeah. And they just tell him, yes, 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 it's wonderful, wonderful. I don't think they tell him the truth. It's like when he was in Air Force One and he was asked about the general that Putin basically blew up his car. He didn't even know about it. And he's the president of the United States. So he's a figurehead. He's a puppet. But dangerous. But not for long. Hi, Kelly. Japan is making threats of selling off more of our bonds they hold because they say the felon disparages of the country. Do you see that happening furthermore furthering our economic decline. I feel they're threatening. I don't know if they're going to do it. If he does, it's like they drew a line in the sand and he just like kicks it. And look, this is the guy in front of the Pope. You're not supposed to stand on the rug. And he was standing around that rug with Melania. Come on. Like, he really cares about borders or boundaries. But I feel they may start selling a little bit more, and it's going to scare him, and then he'll shut up. Like I said, he'll back down. Hi, Christine Chaffee. Does anyone in 45's administration suspect that others, Kamala, know what they know about election fraud and foreign deals, and that they are going to reveal this? Or do they think they've gotten away with it? There are people that know. There are people that know. Trump thinks he's gotten away with everything. And everybody, there's a lot of people that still need to see him as the emperor with no clothes. However, I just hope he keeps his diaper on. And Linda, news of problems at Newark Airport. Is airline safety a concern for some in the U.S.? I'm not seeing any major catastrophes. I'm seeing things that can be averted at the last minute, but I'm not getting major loss of life. I hope I am really serious on that one, because when I was looking at it earlier last week, I did feel there could be some collision coming up midair, but I didn't. At first I saw loss of lives, but then to me it was like it was a metaphor for if they don't do something. And I feel there are things being put in place now that we don't know about, that there are people working overtime to make sure nothing like this happens. I hope that makes sense. I feel summer travel is going to be okay. It's not going to be like every plane is going to be falling out of the sky. All I tell everybody is just make sure they have all their documentation. Put everything on a lanyard and just, and travel light. Hi, Arthur. Will Duck L'Orange parade be peaceful? Thanks. Well, hopefully there's no bullets in those guns. I actually do. I actually want to. At one point, I really feel maybe this is wishful thinking on my part, but the guides have shown me a couple scenes where people are protesting and soldiers join them and leave the parade. So we'll see. Dark Mother, what do you see happening with housing now that taxes and insurance are skyrocketing in many places and owners can no longer pay? Foreclosures, unfortunately. But then the banks are going to come in and try and rework things, because now some of the banks have those, remember they were giving people loans and mortgages when they couldn't even afford them? That's kind of what is going back into place here, but it's going to be changed again. So right now, I'm telling everybody, just depends where you live. Stay in place. That's what my guides say. Just stay in place. And I do feel the end result, things do get better. Okay. Planned outcome. Things are going to get better. Okay. Hi, Jeffrey Stein. Will military action be taken to get rid of the Orange Menace by late summer for election interference? I've always felt people in uniform going into the White House, going into the Oval Office, and saying, it's time. I just don't feel it's like, I feel it's many branches of the military. And as I've said, I've always seen late September, and this could just be as a metaphor, but I've always felt by late September him being on a gurney, handcuffed, being taken down, being wheeled out. So either that or my liver's backing up from the 70s. I apologize. That's what I get. Hi, Christina. Will any of the felon regime ever stand international trial for crimes against humanity? I get a yes on that, but I also get there's a lot of courts here in the States that they're going to be facing first. I can't give you specifically who, because they're not telling me. Hi, Renee breathes nitrox. Is that laughing gas? Hi, Arthur. Happy to see you. Is there going to be a negative event, riot, drone strikes happening in Moscow during their Victory Day parade on May 9th? Thanks. There may be some scuffles, but I don't. But that's all I'm getting. I'm not getting, scuffles. That's the word they're using, scuffles. I don't see drone strikes against the people. But like I did say, if Putin is there, he's going to be behind bulletproof glass. Okay. Hi, Meg. Whatever happened to the Avril Haines report? I don't even know what that. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. If you could lighten me, I'd appreciate it. But I don't know what that is. That's right off the top of my head. So I'm sorry. So let's just go to the next question. Hi, Nancy. What would the action be to Trump saying he didn't think he had to abide by the Constitution, and especially by ex-military? Well, just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. Was that ignorance of the law? I mean, heard this morning when they asked him if he's running for a third term, he said, "Well, I don't know if I can do that. There's a constitution, but I don't know." Well, you're the president. You're supposed to know these things, you idiot. So I just get him. I don't know. I didn't know. Yeah, right. Hi, Arthur and Sherry. Will the world realize the U.S. was the sacrificial lamb and helped keep the right wing from getting elected in the rest of the world, and then when Trump is gone? I don't know if we're really the sacrificial lamb. I don't think they realized what was going to be happening when Trump said, "Okay, tariffs," and all of a sudden, Canada went liberal. The same thing and there's stuff coming up in Germany too, which I feel is going to be corrected. I feel the rest of the world sees us, and I've always said this, but I feel like we're a battered wife. We're going through battered wife syndrome, and even the MAGA people. Oh, he didn't mean to do that. Yeah. Then one day I just realized I'm done. So yeah, the country's suffering from battered wife syndrome. He's a felon, adjudicated rapist, so makes sense. was over the Department of Intelligence in Hawaii. Thanks. I'm still not be able to answer that because I don't have a clear picture of it. Sorry. I'd rather say I'm not sure or they don't see it than to just say something and I'm not going to make anything up here. People think I do anyway, but that's another story. Hi, Roy Johnson. Thank you. You guys are so kind. This really does help the channel. White House is streaming MAGA music. Seriously. Can we send them earpods? Can we send them little earbuds so they don't have to hear it? Well, it's just like only Army bases, they play Fox 24/7. Yeah, I really don't think they're going to be playing anything on HGTV. Anyway, it's sad, but yeah, it's all part of its propaganda. It's one of them not playing, Springtime for Hitler. Hi, Bern O'Malley. Will there be a situation where an ICE invasion of a private home end up with the homeowner returning gunfire? Good question. Well, I don't think you need to be a psychic to know that if the homeowner were to shoot back, they'd be out in the body bag in 5 minutes, unfortunately. But I also feel in time, these ICE agents, they're going to be held responsible because they know what they're doing is unconstitutional. And if they say, I'm just following orders, you take an oath to the Constitution, not to a man. They always say, Trial at Nuremberg, good movie. Polylos is writing in the election. He is now taking a writing over from another cons. Will he? I don't feel he can try. I don't see him. I don't really see his career taking off again. Sorry. Hi, Lori. What do you see about whether there's a serial killer operating here in southern New England, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts? I get a yes. Caught no later than October. There may be 2 people. Two people. That's all I got. Do you see a carney singing, snitching? Oh, a canary. Anytime soon to oust Trump administration. It's going to be a choir of them. Chorus. Led by Big Bird, hopefully. But I already feel there are documents. There are already depositions secretly being taken. Now, is this a deep state conspiracy theory? No. I just feel that there's some stuff being, quietly being handled so that when it all starts coming out, it all starts coming out. And undeniable. Okay? So to answer your question, yes. Anytime soon, June, July. Hi, Teresa. What will happen with Oklahoma schools demanding Trump propaganda be taught in its schools? Any pushback or deprogramming coming? It's the school, isn't it? They were the one that wanted to put in the Trump Bibles in every class too. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, Oklahoma schools. It's the it's the school boards that want to put it in, not the people going, not the parents. Maybe some of them are crazies and get through. I feel that's going to be turned around. Even if they're going to play, that'll be turned around. Okay. Hi, Barbie. When will Puerto Rico become a state? I want to say within 5 years. So I just heard. It does happen. Let's hope it's sooner, but I get 5 years. Arthur, I caught your live a little late. I know pinpointing time is difficult. Yeah, you saw my show last week. And I don't know this. Was already asked. I am surprised Hegseth is still employed. Will he get fired soon? I'm glad you asked. I was talking to a friend last night, and she was saying, what do you think Hegseth did for the first 100 days? Because we're, the celebration of 100 days. Here's what I thought. Remember that song? 100 bottles of beer in the wall? 100 bottles of beer. You take one down, you pass it around, another 99 bottles of beer in the wall. So, yeah, he got his 100 bottles of beer in the wall. Now he's restocking his second 100, but I don't think he's going to get to it all. I feel by June 17th, 18th, 19th, I don't know why I'm getting those dates, but that's what they just gave me. He should be ousted. There's 2 more things that are coming out that I feel he's going to be asked to step down so the president doesn't have to fire him. And he'll come up with some lame excuse. I got bone spurs. I can't do this anymore. Whatever. DRC. Will California and blue states be able to negotiate terms on how they contribute to the federal government in the future? I enjoy your insights, Arthur. Thank you. I believe they will. If they're going to turn around and say, oh, we're not going to give you FEMA money, well, okay, California, we have disasters here, so we'll have to hold on to our money and not give it to you. And California takes care of 21 states. And we have 2,394 people in the room. Thank you so much, people. Oh my God. Get a defibrillator. I'm having a heart attack. Linda, love from Canada. Will Canada be able to build our economy and sell our resources to the world? Will Canada be okay? Canada will be okay. Really. It's like you guys, thanks to little Donnie, I think you guys are going to be able to have a really good run. I mean, how can I put this? You've been in the shadows of the United States for too long. You start to shine now, along with Mexico. Okay? So yeah, a golden age. Let's put it that way. No, that's a golden because that reminds me of Trump. A maple syrup age. I don't know. Hey, my father's background is French Canadian, so don't shoot me. Hi, Diane. Well, our new PM will be in Washington on Tuesday. It sounds like the Oval Office with media to start like Zelensky. How will this go for Mark? It's going to go very well because he takes no crap. Don't forget, and this guy knows what he's doing. He doesn't have to beg. He doesn't ask for anything. And don't forget, he can turn off a lot of lights on the northern border with one flip of a switch. Hi, Luby. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Thank you. Did I say tapioca thievery? I just made tapioca pudding last night. I ran out of sugar, so I used powdered sugar instead. It was so good. Yes, and I'm a diabetic. Hi, Arthur. How do you see the next veterans protest going? Very well. We'll look at a lot. I think it may actually get a little bit more coverage than before, because I really think even though there's been news blackouts, some stuff is going to get out. Okay? I feel it's going to go well. Viv Wu. Hi, Arthur. Do you, your guide, see major devaluation of the US dollar with recession on the way and the lack of check and balance in the government? I think that's what BRICS wants to happen. I feel I'm not an economic. I don't do economics. I can barely balance my checkbook. But what I'm getting from the guides is it may go down a little, but it's temporary. And then it starts to rise again. Okay? What I'm saying is not to freak out. P. Johnson, what are your thoughts on 3 Days of Darkness? I've heard other readers mention. Will it be this month? Thank you for being here for all of us. Now, the 3 Days of Darkness, wasn't that a prophecy from Padre? Oh my God, I forget his last name. Where he said there'd be 3 days of darkness and that you need to not open your windows, not look out the windows, pray the rosary, and light blessed candles for those 3 days. I've been hearing this prophecy for the last 10 years. And it seems like on YouTube, there are people that put out there, it's this month, it's this month. It's, it's going to happen in these 3 days. It's going to happen the end of the month. I feel there's a lot of bait and switch out there. We're not meant to know when those 3 days are, if the Padres' prediction is as seen. Now, the guys may tell us at the last minute. I haven't heard anything yet. I'm not poo-pooing it. If you feel you need to get a rosary and bless candles and keep them in your house, if that's going to make you feel safe, then by all means, I support you on that. However, if you're leading the righteous life you're supposed to, you'll still be okay, is what I believe. This also reminds me, I mean, there's a lot of clickbait on YouTube. That's all I'm going to say. But remember that one preacher was saying it's the end of the world, end of the world, end of the world. And then some guy, took out all the money from his kids' college funds, built a bunker. Yeah, it didn't happen. Like I said, I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm just not feeling it at this time. Okay? I hope that answers your question. Kate, hi, Arthur. Do you see Zelensky in danger? Yes and no. I feel, yeah, there are times, I mean, I think Putin would like to see him gone, and Trump in many ways. But I also feel he's protected by many realms. We'll put it that way. this one and others. Hi, Jude. If Trump is not following the laws and the Constitution, why can't we just tell him no to all his tariffs, cut jobs, and military threats? Unfortunately, things are set up. Some of the stuff he's doing, you have to go to the DOJ. And the DOJ, little blondie Bondi, is just doing what she's told to do. She's not following the Constitution either. So the checks and balances, there's that. I mean, he's even going against the Supreme Court. But it's all going to blow up in his face. This is where I said, if you recall, I don't mean to harp on it, but when I get things wrong, you guys remind me. So when I get things right, I'm going to remind you that I said on the Ides of March, things would start to go downhill. As my guys said, the mirror would start cracking. And we may not see it right away, but that's when it would start. And then the 15th, which is the Ides of March, is when the signal gate happened. And also when they rounded up all the Venezuelan people. And after they had them rounded up, then they put the proclamation in about the Enemies War Act and put them on the plane and flew them out. That was all on the 15th. It was the 17th when all the stuff started hitting the court. And then I said through the rest of the month it'd be nuts. And then the month of April, every day would be another WTF day. And it just builds and builds and builds. So he's not the mechanism for the DOJ to do something about it. He's got somebody in place. Let him get away with it. But he's not going to get away with it much longer. Okay? I hope that answers your question. What is the future for neo-fascism worldwide? Right now, it may seem like it's on the rise, but the more Trump does what Trump does, he's actually like their kryptonite. It doesn't, it starts to crumble. So that's the way I feel with this. The rise of neo-Nazism has been going on for quite some time. Skinheads, whatever. And eventually, though, worldwide, someone tries to fan the flames, but then it's going to go away. Not 100%. It's like I have a friend whose grandfather was in the SS, and they still keep they don't talk about it, but they keep the grandfather's uniform and everything in the basement. So in time, maybe people will be finding red hats in their uncle's attics or something in time. I did see a funny meme, though, is Jesus Christ and his people, and he's holding a MAGA hat and says, "Hey, Judas, you dropped your hat." Anyway, I thought it was funny. If Trump is removed, do you see any bills or administrative stuff being reversed? And will there be lawsuits for wrongdoings? What'd they say in the movie Fargo? You betcha. Yeah. Yep. A lot of stuff is gonna be reversed. But not only reversed, but put back in place better so that things put back in stronger so none of this can be happening again. That's why I read it. Okay. Hi, Courtney, YouTube member. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll be doing, in fact, this Friday, I'll be doing a members only hour show where my members get to ask anything they want except lotto numbers, because those numbers are mine. Besides that, if I could do that, I'd be in the Bahamas or getting a facelift in South Korea by now. So let's take one more question, and I think that'll be it. In the meantime, thank you everyone for stopping by on your Sunday and sharing it with me. And Sherry's in the background going, I gotta find one more question. Here we go. Hi, Michelle. What a pretty kitty cat. Media doesn't report what they're doing. So Dem voters believe elected Dems are doing nothing. Will this growing disfavor sink the Dems in the midterms? If Bernie starts his own party, will Dems join? I don't see Bernie starting his own party, number one. Number two, it's coming out. Stuff is coming out. Number three, I really feel the way things are going to fall into place, we may have a blue house before the midterms. Okay? Because some people may be leaving. And, it's like when I first started here, everybody was asking about George Santos, and I said he'd be going to 7 years. Well, he's going away, and it was 7 years. He may get it earlier, maybe for good behavior. So maybe he'll be really good with the butterwork patterns and help people make dresses. But no, what I'm seeing here is I really feel you're going to be seeing, like I said, there's a news blackout on a lot of things, and the things Democrats are doing, it's going to start coming out more. It's not just Bernie. It's not just AOC. There are others like Dan Goldman and others that are really hitting the pavement. Daniel, the guy from Florida, Daniel Hogg, and then also the other Maxwell Frost. Their voices are going to be starting to be heard even more. And people are going to start standing up. And it's Democrats that are going to all the town halls that the Republicans are running away from. So you're going to see a shift. So it looks like they're doing nothing. They are doing something. It's just not being reported. But when you watch channels on YouTube that are progressive, I was to say, check those out. Okay? And you'll feel better. So I think that's about it for this Sunday, people. Unless Sherry has one more question. She's going no. So anyway, listen, thanks everyone for coming by. My name is Arthur. My channel is Ease Your Mind. And if anybody's looking for readings, personal readings or anything like that, you can reach me at my website at arthureaseyourmind.com. And there's availabilities, some in May and then in June. And if you want a Cajun reading, contact Sherry. swampvoices@gmail.com, or look at her channel, Swamp, Voices from the Swamp. She has a really fun slumber party on Saturday nights. So, and also Mel there's a special part in my heart for Mel. So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. And Linda. So if you'd like to give him a little love, there's his Venmo info. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a show with him. I talked to him last night. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing a show on Tuesday or not. I may still post it, and then if he doesn't feel well, we'll cancel. But anyway, I just want to thank. Oh, and one more thing. I do have a playlist called Timeless Tools for Fast Results. I'll be posting a new one called How to Love Yourself, about healing your inner child. And it should be about 7 minutes long. So that'll be going up sometime this week. So keep your eye out for that. And that's about it. So listen, thank you everyone for being here. It was fun. And you had such great questions. And I really appreciate everyone here tonight. All right. Or day, depending where you're watching. And so we'll see you later and catch you definitely next Sunday. And I'll be on before then too during the week. I'm thinking of doing a show Wednesday with Valerie. So those are personal questions. So if you had any personal questions you were looking to ask, stop by the show on Wednesday night. All right? So take care of yourselves. Take yourself. Take care of others. And above all, have fun. Stay amazing. Bye-bye. And thank you, everyone. I mean that. I love you all. I really, really do. Because I have no friends.